What is up, everybody? Again, seeing a lot of me. All right, this video, if you couldn't tell by the title, is me watching QuarterPipe high air. And I think QuarterPipe, like high air, the only way it could get better for just laymen, for like just regular people that don't understand dirt bikes, is if you could put a bar up there like step up that you had to go over. XGames, add it. There needs to be a big bar, and we keep raising it up. How about that? Thing is, you'd probably have to have like different distances away from the ramp because some people travel more and some people travel less. But that's interesting. Or what if you had a big screen behind it, like when they did QuarterPipe for skateboarding, and then they would have that, like the cylinder thing that had lights on it and it had like feet marks on it. How come they don't do that at the sleigh ground? Come on, Monster, build a electronic scale, height jump scale thing. What would you call that? Height jump scale. That's it. That's what it's called now. I don't give a shit. All right, here we go. MotoX QuarterPipe. We got Cole Denny up first. Oh yeah. Holy, what is going on with this camera angle? That was a little discombobulating. So, that was very nice. Very nice. How long do we need to wait here for them to just let him go? Who is this? What happened there? Who's editing these clips? They're like, maybe they were trying to let him continue saying something. Nice. I'm glad McNeil, you remember he was going huge on QuarterPipe and then just kind of got stuck at X Games in Minneapolis, like in the bottom, really weird, no rhyme or reason. He just lands and goes, and just like dislocated his hip or something. And it seemed like he kind of backed off a little bit on QuarterPipe, but now why do they keep doing that? Now he's back sending it. So this is the guy they teased us with before. They were like, check this out. No, just joking. All right, let's see. Holy shit. Whoa. So he travels pretty far too. He's very excited about that. 40, he just went over 40 feet. And I heard what they ended at, so 40 feet 10 inches. You know, what happened there? Hey, camera guy, what's going on? Oh, he did a butt whip at the end. Locked up the brakes. Dude, that's about as smooth as you can land QuarterPipe, I'd say. Oh, 45 feet. See, I think that indoors, right, when they build a fresh landing, like when we were in Minneapolis, Nick and I, they had, let me pause this for a second. They had the time that Jared got hurt. They have a freestyle course, right, and they do freestyle, and then they overnight move all the dirt over and then build the QuarterPipe. Well, let me tell people that have never ridden like these courses built or arena cross tracks or supercross track, which I never rode a supercross track. Okay, but I've ridden arena cross and I've ridden tons of monster jams. And the point is, when you try to make, like, they disturb all the dirt and then they probably wet it through the course of this so it doesn't turn into powder, because anybody that's worked with dirt knows that if you just cut a bunch of dirt and you let it all get exposed to the air and just mix it up and don't add water, it's going to dry out faster. So it's a fine line of keeping this stuff moist. I would say that with XGames, not with Monster Jam. They just bring it in, set the shit up, and then no, I mean Monster Jam, Supercross, right? They basically rent the buildings now and go back to back, and they have to mess with the dirt a lot. So my point is that this place is there all the time. So these landings are nice and hard, and they're not going to give you, they're not going to like give, you're not going to bite insanely hard. I mean, it's a little worse if you crash. It's worse and it's not worse if you crash. The crashing sucks either way, but you're gonna skid across the ground here versus if you're on dirt that was just manipulated and brought in from outside or whatever. It's gonna be a little spongy, so not only can your bike like sink in a little more, but if you fall off the back of your bike, say, your legs your legs gonna want to jam into the ground and stick more, and then you're gonna like tumble. That's when people get hurt. That's why there's resi landings, is so that instead of, like if you don't like get stuck and then flip, you just will slide out of it. So long story short, that was a long way around to get to the point that I'm sure everybody feels a little more comfortable on this setup because one, they're not sparing any expense to build the landings. The landings are big, they're the same size as the quarter pipe, which I've been at some stuff in it like that X Games. The landing should have been taller, I think. But it's like you only have a certain amount of dirt in a certain amount of time, so you do what you can. This setup seems to be better just because it's a already in place setup. Everything's nice and set and hard. And there's just not as many moving parts. So I think maybe this is why you're seeing people go like 5 feet higher than the friggin' 7 feet. Hodges is at 47. They haven't showed that yet, but that's every a bunch of people set new records, I guess. Technically, damn leg swag. Did Bogle? Does he ride with Bogle? Yeah, that was gnarly. He went straight up and straight down. I wonder if the leg helped him. Wow, he just barely made it over that monsters sign, which is probably only like 15 feet away from the edge of the takeoff. It's a good landing though. Once you don't get that far over, and once you don't die, you're like, oh, that wasn't bad. All right, let's see. I guess Hodges goes higher than 47 is my guess, since they didn't show his other run. All right, let's see what he's got. It's funny, everybody goes to the left. Holy shit. Whoo. So the impressive part, right? You know, he's a bad dude, obviously, and I'm not taking anything away, but he does live here, and he gets to ride this setup. Which, I mean, I guess he lets people come over and ride, but Colby does not ride this setup all the time. Holy shit, dude! I don't want to do that. This is why I'm sure nobody's practicing this all year round, though. Who wants to do this all year? That seems super scary. Very nice, though. Very nice. All right, so is that higher? 48. 48 on attempt 4. So that means this was a real nail biter. I mean, I guess it's same camera, so. Dude, we need the big height measure scale wall monster, whatever it's called. We need a whole wall behind them just with measurements. Height measure scale wall. All right, so here we go. FTW on his necklace, Slayer shirt, Just running a Slayer baseball jersey. I wonder if he's sponsored. Holy shite. Oof. He's like, shit. Are you joking me again? Are you joking me? Alright, let's see it. I mean, we already know who wins, but he went from 46 feet. He was still in second. But the last run, man. See how they go off the as they're going off the lip, they're already just look at boom, watching the ground, trying to get that thing to come around. Holy shit, he's totally upside down. That was awesome. That was awesome. He's got a little leg swag in there too. Look at that, just staring back at the ground. Here you're like, oh my goodness. Got the back brake locked up. Turns it, he basically forced it around there by hand. They're just doing this for suspense now, bro. Drama. Drama. We know who wins, but it's still dramatic. Oh, 49. A foot higher. From 46, 7, 8, 9. He got 3 extra feet when he needed it. That's a clutch. He's a clutch performer. This is like last year. I think he did the same thing, didn't he? It went down to the end. He got it in the last. Did he? Am I thinking about that wrong? Did he have it won for a while? I don't think so. I think every time these guys go at it, they're basically like very close, and it comes down to the final run or two. I will say it's also cool that they're now cool with each other. As fun as is that nasty? Or is that somebody else that looks? That's nasty on another timeline. That's Corey Nastasio on another timeline. That's his doppelganger. It's just him. He made different choices in life. He had different parents, but it's same person. That's a different show. We'll get into that. You got to go to my. I probably won't post that on Two Wheels of Freedom page, but I think doppelgangers are just you on a different timeline. There you go. 49. That's very impressive. Does he have is his arm tattooed a lot, or what's going on? Why does it look like that? Is camera weird? All right, let's see it one more time before we get out of here. Woo! See at the end there where it kind of like stops? Okay, so here he's looking, 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 looking. Right here, it looks like it kind of stops. He locks up the brakes and he's like, let me pull this thing back underneath me. And then he even has to like straighten it out. Like he had to like pull it back in and then like straighten it back up before he landed. But that was sweet. Let's see what he has to say. Holy guacamole.
I practiced a lot coming into this, but just seeing how
My bad.
the scores were coming in and Axel was going so high, I thought I gave it my best early in the runs, and I thought I was crashing. I went in so fast and I held it wide open, and I felt like I went really high, and then I pulled the landing off, and that's what it took.
I don't know if you can hear it.
Congrats to Novice and Axel too.
Yeah, and let's talk. You had that gnarly crash back in October. You were
You had
off
a
your
crash
bike for
in
4.5
October? Oh my
months.
God.
Walk me through that journey to get to this moment, and how good does this gold medal feel?
Yeah, I cased a distance jump in my movie going for 300 feet and broke my back pelvis, and it took 4 months. No.
Back slash pelvis or back pelvis? I'm not. All right.
Weight on my legs and in a wheelchair, and just coming back from that was is a lot of work, you know. And I didn't even know, the doctors recommend I didn't even compete, but
Of course.
I put in a lot of work and I felt good. And with help from Andrew Bauer right here, my mechanic, coming out 105, they chose to do X Games in July in SoCal. It's 110, and he was right there helping me out, Husqvarna and all my sponsors, and
There's like, listen, it's still hot because it feels like you're inside of a hair dryer. But he's not even sweating. It's 100 degrees. I mean, he's sweating. It's just evaporating. I guess it's just less uncomfortable. Here, or like East Coast, or like Georgia, if it was 110 degrees, dude, you'd dehydrate and like you would look like you came out of the pool the whole time. Anyway, that's just an observation. But how about that? I didn't realize he couldn't. He was in a wheelchair and all that stuff. Nobody posts anything. I wouldn't either. I can't complain because that's how I was. I used to get hurt and then just disappear. But especially from social media. But very impressive. I didn't realize he was going for 300 feet either. Oh yeah, there was. Didn't he posted something? I thought he was gonna jump a street bike. What happened to the street bike jump? World record street bike jump. I assume he probably broke his pelvis doing that, and then that probably put a dampener on the street bike distance jump. I would assume.
Yeah, that's the Slay Ground Slayer. But props to the boys. They were sending it too. It wasn't easy.
Slay Ground Slayer, congratulations, well done.
Thank you, everybody, all my sponsors, my brand, Raha brand, everybody supporting me, Margin RV, Go Big Truck Performance, Rockstar Energy, Husqvarna, and ODI, Pit Viper. Thank you, everybody, and yeah, killed it.
He's right. Killed it. 49 feet. But again, I'm not diminishing what they did, but my point is that in the past, I mean, I guess maybe Nitro World Games. What's their height? You know, you have different height ramps, so then it's hard to be like, this is the actual world record. But like, and you'd have to probably talk to these guys, but like, what's better, that setup with the big dirt landings, or like Nitro where they got the big wood landings, which are nice and consistent? I think wood landing is good for like Nitro, bringing it into a venue or something like that. But ultimately, I would think, and I obviously haven't ridden any of this stuff, I would think that being on a big dirt course that's been so like anytime you go into a building, like any of these companies, they go into a building to do promotions, and it wasn't how it was in the beginning. They used to like that first freestyle contest in Vegas where they just like had a field of jumps. They still didn't have that much dirt. I should say the jumps were not that big, but you know, they try to build these big courses, or when they used to for X Games in these stadiums, they're still like basically calculating dirt and then just using what they have. You're only going to truck in a certain amount of dirt. Yet this guy has this is where he rides all the time. They obviously have unlimited amount of dirt there. And everything's big and safe. So I think that, and it's all been set up for a while. So, you know, everything's nice and hard and you're not getting big holes and it's not getting deteriorated. It's not like sketchy. You don't have to land on some of those contests, dude. The landings are like very small. You know, their tops are not very wide, and they're like, you know, 75 feet, 100 and something feet to these little pointy landings. So I think maybe that lends itself to some of the people, you know, everybody going that high and setting new records, just the setup. But you know, whatever, props. I don't want to do it. That's still super scary. But I'm just saying maybe that's why the numbers jumped up so much this year. I feel like there was a big jump between the other years and this year. And I realized they did do it there, but maybe even them riding the same course the following year helped. So, all right, same thing. Leave a comment if you would like. Do you think maybe the course being there and being set up and not being like just limited to the amount of dirt that they wanted to truck in, especially the course, not only is it ridden all year, it was used for X Games last year, So they already put some work into it. Anybody that's built a course knows you come in, you or a track or anything like that. You come in and you build some, and then like little by little things become bigger and better. So course has had years to progress versus trying to move directly into a building and be like set all this stuff up overnight or within a couple of days. So, I mean, as much as it sucks there's no fans there, which is really weird because originally X Games was just free to the public and the places were packed, they basically got to a point where I feel like the dwindled down so much. Like when I was in Minneapolis, there was barely anybody in the building. It's like, why are we renting this big stadium if nobody's coming anyway? So then they started doing all this stuff kind of more the way it would have happened, right? Like this is probably closer to the way people would practice, or like typically the courses you enjoy riding, they're not jammed in a building. You have plenty of space, plenty of dirt. So, how long until X Games does a free ride contest? They go to Ocotillo or something and then film it, chop it up, and put it out later that day. Would somebody have to, like, would they have to shoot the whole thing and then have the event, edit it, and have the event on a hard drive, and then somebody would have to, like, be the messenger and hurry up and drive out of the desert with the hard drive so that they could get back to civilization to plug it in so that they could play it on the internet? That's a funny thought, right? They're like, get X Games done, and they're like, it's all in your hand now. You have to take this back to civilization and show the world what we did here at X Games in Ocotillo Wells. And he's like, okay. I don't know why that's funny to me. Okay. Yeah, they just set up Tent City in Ocotillo Wells, film X Games, real free ride. That would be awesome. Ride to the Hills meets X Games. I feel like with the way, like, that wasn't live. It was shot at 10, it aired at 1. So, like, why couldn't they do that? Chop it up and drive it out of the desert and then beam it to our faces. I, I think that finally, like, X Games or whatever, freestyle motocross, the problem is you're never getting away from people wanting to do it for people. Like, when are they going to put bleachers in at the sleigh grounds? When are you guys putting bleachers in? That's all I want to know. You need some parking, porta potties, bleachers. I think, especially in SoCal, you get mad bros out there. Just a thought. But anyway, what I was going to say is that originally I saw freestyle going by the way of like bigger courses, like big skate parks and stuff. But the barrier was always that they're trying to put these events on in these buildings and then you can't bring that much dirt, yada yada, man hours. And it's almost going back closer to the way that it started, being out in actual dirt courses and stuff. And like I said, maybe it'll make it to being like Ride to the Hills, but X Games edition. And I mean, Ride to the Hills was an amazing contest. Good job, Parsons and uh, was Adam Barker or Schweitzer? I think it was Schweitzer. Amazing. Just I think like a lot of ideas that happen before their time. Stuff happens and the world's not really ready to, it needed to progress to COVID and nobody being able to go in buildings anymore. They come here. Uh, and crowds dwindling down, going to live events, and then they're like, well, let's just do it in the woods. Right? Like back when they were doing Ride to the Hills, it was like an unthought of thing. They're like, we're going to do this contest and there's not going to be any crowd there. And all the promoters are like, what are you talking about? Why would you do an event with no crowd? How are you going to make money? You're like, no, we're just gonna air it online, bro. And everybody's like, you can't make money airing stuff online. What are you talking about? And now, here we are. X Games is online in a field, from a field. Just saying, it's weird how things come around. Okay, leave your comments. How sick would X Games Akatia Wells 2024? Do it, X Games. I know you guys watch this. I'm sure you don't watch this. I know you guys watch this. Okay? I'm a very influential person in freestyle motocross, and I know that you guys watch my podcast. All right. I'm really out of here this time. Peace out. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, share it to your friends. Be like, this guy's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. MX Warlord, told me I didn't know what I was talking about. He schooled me on what racing was about. So, there's that. All right, later.